Oceans is a card-based hand management and take-that game released in 2020 and designed by Nick Bentley, Dominic Crapuchet, Ben Goldman, and Brian O'Neill, with art by Guillermo Docos and Catherine Hamilton. The goal is to evolve the most valuable and resilient denizens of the ocean's depths who, as they age, will earn you points in the form of population tokens. To set up, place the reef board and ocean boards in the middle of the table with the Cambrian Explosion card in the first ocean zone. Place one random scenario card on each of the ocean zone shelves. Shuffle the surface deck and deal 6 cards to each player. Shuffle the deep deck and place 2 cards from it face up to form the gene pool. Create a supply of population tokens based on player count, 20 per player plus 60 or 140 in a 4-player game, and roughly divide this between the reef and 3 ocean zones. Discard the top card of the surface deck and move a number of fish equal to the migrate number from both the reef and first ocean zones into the 3rd ocean zone. Place the species boards in reach of all players. Each player receives a player screen. The person who can hold their breath the longest goes first. Don't hurt yourselves. In Oceans, players create, evolve, and control one or more species vying for survival in the deep blue sea. The game is played over a variable number of rounds where each player takes a turn in clockwise order to perform 4 phases. To start, place 1 trait card from your hand, which may either start a new species by taking a species board and placing the trait next to it, or evolve an existing species. A species may have a maximum of 3 traits, but traits can be removed during this phase to add new ones. Surface trait cards come in 12 flavors, and these will include methods of obtaining population and/or defensive values, while deep cards are unique from each other and can be very powerful. Also, a card may instead be played to migrate fish population from one zone to another. Feeding is when population is acquired for one of a player's species, either through foraging in the reef or attacking another species, depending on available traits. With aging, remove 1 population from each of your species and place it behind your screen. Finally, you may claim 1 deep card, discard any surface cards, and then draw back up to 6. If the first ocean zone empties, the Cambrian Explosion happens and 2 cards are played, 2 population are scored per species, and deep cards can now be played each round. Also, emptying the first 2 ocean zones will trigger the effects of the scenario cards, either instant or ongoing. Once all zones are empty, the game end is triggered, with reserve fish being placed in the 3rd zone. After the last player in round order completes their turn, the game ends, and whoever has the most population, both behind their screen and on their surviving species, wins. Ties are broken initially by most trade cards in play, then by whoever gets a job on an Alaskan fishing boat first. I have to be honest, I've only ever played Oceans once, and it was a while ago. In that case, why do I still have it in my collection, and more to the point, why am I reviewing it in this series? I don't have an answer to those questions, other than, cuz. When I started making selections for what would become I'm Always Game, I literally looked around the room and started writing down the first names I saw. It was only further down the line that I decided to create a format, loose as it may be, and connect the occasional theme or joke. Loose interpretations also apply. What does any of this have to do with Oceans? Well, like my brain, this game wanders with purpose, evolving towards life and hope. The act of creating something, even as shallow as these tutorials, very loose, yes, prods myself towards some small sense of fulfillment. I've always called myself a writer, but maybe it's less defined than that. Maybe I'm simply a maker, and I'm slowly evolving towards something else, adapting to useful traits, taking a new form, ready to tell the world that I'm always game.